So you're struggling to date in the US as a Christian man. You're like, what is going on? Why is this happening? What is the reason? Why can I not seem to get the quality of woman that I think I should be able to get at this point in my life? Maybe you're a successful guy. Maybe you have a good faith life. Maybe you are somewhat attractive, but you're struggling. And, well, you're not alone. A lot of guys are. It's a problem for a lot of Christian men. And there's sort of three main reasons why it's happening to you, why you're having this issue. So in this video, I'm going to break that down. Number one, just at root, think mathematically here, why would a Christian dude struggle to date, or why would dudes date or struggle to date at all? It would be a supply issue, right? So if there are not enough Christian traditional women out there for men to meet, then there's going to be a supply problem. Less of them are going to meet them, and more men are going to struggle to accomplish that goal. So if that's the case, if the supply of women is less, well, I'm going to turn around here. It's a beautiful night out. So if the supply is less than the Christian men, and statistically this is the case, there are more Christian conservative leaning men, especially in the Gen Z generation. So we're talking men 18 to 25, 26. Statistically, there's more of these men who are conservative and Christian than women right now in church going. So if there's a natural supply issue, that means that there is greater demand and greater competition for the traditional conservative Christian in shape, low body count women. That's just how mathematics works. So if that's the case, the competitiveness to be with these women, date, marry these women is higher. The men have to be of a higher quality in their eyes in order to date these women at all. And so it sort of exponentially grows as there are more very conservative, right-leaning Christian men, and there are less of them as women. The problem exponentially gets worse for the men, even if they're high quality, even if they would have been able to land high quality matches and dates 20, 30 years ago. Because of this issue, it gets worse and worse. So because of the supply problem, there's now a competition issue. You are now competing with many, many more men for the same woman, as the amount of church-going women, in shape women, feminine women go down. So your first issue is supply. Second issue is going to be the attitude of the women in general and how they're not matching your belief system and how you view marriage. So if you believe in a traditional masculine marriage and roles, and that's what you want out of a marriage, you want the woman to be at home, take care of your children, not have your children in a daycare, and you want to earn the money. So because your values don't align, even when you meet these women and you go on a date, let's say you're lucky enough to do so, and you match with them and you begin discussing these topics, because of the attitudes of women today, even in Christian circles, is not even that different. To be honest, I don't think it's that much different. You're not going to line on those things. You're going to run into a lot of Christian women who don't want kids, maybe want a few kids, don't believe that women should be feminine or have traditional roles. And so that's immediately going to clash with your belief system. And so even if you are, compatible in some way to match and meet her requirements, you might not meet in belief system. And so that's going to be the second major issue. The third one is going to be economically related. So because we see more and more men who are not attending college, and more women who have a higher perceived level of education, and women are filtering for this, and because women are hypergamous, and all that means is that women want to date men who make more money than them. And we all know this. This is all sort of logical, makes sense. But if women are on average going to get the college degrees, are going to be given jobs just because of their gender, then over time, the women are going to make more and more money than a lot of the men. So what's going to happen? Well, women are looking for men who make more than them that don't exist, a lot of them. And so even if you're making a decent amount of money as a Gen Z man, you're younger, making 50, 60K a year, because the women are looking to be hypergamous, and many of them have careers now because the society has kind of forced them to and indoctrinated them into doing so. It's not really the women's fault. We've kind of set things up this way. We've kind of set them up for failure. We've set everybody up for failure. And that's highly, highly unfortunate. So a lot of women are never going to feel satisfied in a relationship where the man is making less than them and they are the sole provider. That's not the role they want to be in. They want to be in the feminine role. They want to be in the role where, they're able to care for, nurture kids. That's their natural role. Take care of the household, maybe have a side job or income under the purview of the husband. But most of them want to exist. Most of them want to exist in a relationship where the man is earning more and they don't have to worry about being the sole provider or being the one to make the rent. They don't want to be in that position, nor should they, right? But society has set things up this way. So if they date a guy who's even making decent income, but he is making less than her, that's just deep down going to give her insecurity about the relationship. And so these three things are filtering you out, making dating difficult, or if maybe you're able to get matches, but compatibility is an issue. This was my main problem. So compatibility might be the problem for you. You may be meeting women, you may be in shape, have your finances together, and you're meeting a lot of them, but you're just not compatible with the ones you're meeting repeatedly. And this is a recurring problem for you. So there's a number of ways that Christian men can have issues with the dating market in the West and the US. It could be any of the three things I mentioned, or it could be compatibility in general. You're just never dating women that you feel you're compatible with what you feel like their feminine role should be. And that can be a serious issue because that's not in alignment with what you believe your role is as a man. So what do you do? How do you solve this problem? How does anyone solve this problem? Well, the problem's not being solved. The answer is it's not. People aren't pairing up. They're not having children. Even in Christian circles in the US, the birth rate is declining. I don't have the big solution to solve the massive dating market issue. But what I do have is a very specific solution. A solution that I've stumbled across that I think can work for a lot of guys. It won't work for everybody. Okay, a lot of you aren't going to make it, but some of you will. And some of you will really thrive with this solution. What you have to do is expand your market. How do you expand your market? You look outside of just where you're at. And I'm not talking just your city. I'm talking about your country, your region, the West. And you go somewhere else and you venture somewhere else. So you're thinking, okay, Thomas, how do I do this? How do I leave the West and venture out and find a new life or a location where men are respected and I can, meet a woman who's in alignment with me? And I understand this can be a daunting task. I didn't understand how to do this when I stumbled across this information. Like, how do I get started? It's real tough. So to help you guys with that, I've got all the content on my channel, but I've also got a free guide for you. So if you go to the description box down below, I have a guide, top 5 countries where Christian men can thrive, both living abroad and dating abroad, improving your faith, improving your dating prospects, finding a traditional woman for that marriage and family building. You can download that guide in the description down below. It's 100% free. Check it out. Send me an email. Let me know what you think. What country looks most enticing to you? I'd like to hear from you guys. That is my solution. In a comment down below, as Christian men, what are your experiences dating? Has it been good? Has it been bad? Did anything I say ring true to your experience? I'd like to hear your thoughts down below. Thanks so much for watching. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time.